Hello and welcome to another episode of Schnozzcast. You are joined today by Bob and Corey and Todd. We have a couple of special guests. We have Josh and Felicia from Year of October. So, hello. Todd's got his Lego cooler ready to go. Corey was early.
Baby.
Corey was early and ready to go on time. Unbelievable. Thank you, sir.
No, you can thank Year of October. That was the only reason I did it.
Thank you, Year of October. Otherwise, we'd be starting late like we always do.
Yeah.
All right. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining. If you're returning, we appreciate it, and you are in for a treat today. If you want to catch us out there on social media, you can find us anywhere we can get a podcast. You can also please follow us on YouTube. Give us a like and a subscribe. And we'll extend that officially now to Year of October as well. You can find them out on Spotify or wherever you get a podcast. You can also find their vinyl and other media available on Bandcamp for streaming and purchasing. And if you want to email the podcast, you can email us at schnozzcast@gmail.com with any of your existential questions or your requests for relationship advice from the love doctor, Todd Dillon.
Candy cane.
Yeah.
Candy cane.
I'm going to assume they're not familiar with that, and they're just laughing because it's a funny name.
Yeah. So, real quick.
Do you want a quick?
Yeah, we'll give you guys some quick insight to that.
Yeah.
When we first started and we were in our very, very infancy, we would always throw our email address out there. And we weren't getting too many responses, believe it or not.
I think we went for a year and a half with not a single goddamn email.
Yeah. And then, so all of a sudden, one day, we went to go start the show.
Hold on. It may have been preempted by the fact that I mentioned that it pissed me off that no one had ever emailed us. And why?
Yeah.
Why is it that no one emails us? And all of a sudden,
We were at the point of begging for people to email us. And
I was thinking about emailing us just from me, saying like, "Hey, I love you. You're important.
Yeah.
It's okay."
And then so we received an email, and it was oddly around Christmas time, I believe.
Yeah.
From Miss Candy Cane.
She was having some
With a K.
serious relationship issues, the likes of which we'd never heard before.
They were insane.
Yeah, without reading like a Penthouse Forum letter or some other, crazy distribution.
And so we were all kind of curious of who Candy Cane was, and come to find out, it was one of our own. Mr. Todd Dillon decided to be Candy Cane and write this ridiculous email into our own email.
Who better to give advice to yourself to someone else than themselves, right?
He legitimately waited. He played it off for about 5 minutes before he's like, "It's me." Yeah, so I had 5 minutes of like, "Oh my God, somebody likes us," and then my dreams were dashed, and I was right back to.
And nobody likes us still.
Right.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
So, guys, we're so proud and happy to have you on. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. We've been looking forward to it for weeks, and I feel like we've done our homework because that's what we do. And I will say. Thank you again for all the swag. A little love, and I wanted to. I'm a big vinyl guy. If you ask these guys, ask anybody who knows me, I play vinyl every Saturday. I probably spend way too much money on it, and I'm like, God damn it, I like this band. I've followed you guys for quite a while before I decided to take a chance and ask you to be on the show if you're interested. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna have them on the show without buying one of the records. And also, every time I'm on this show, I wear a band t-shirt. And I'm also not going to be on the show with you guys here talking to us and not wear your shirts. So I bought your album, the latest one, Keep on Fighting, and a Year of October t-shirt. And you guys were kind enough to not only sign my album, but also send me some really cool swag like this koozie and some pins and some patches. And yeah, so thank you so much. And my kid has his own little band, and he was like, "That's pretty cool. They didn't have to do that." I'm like, "You're right, they didn't." But this is the Schnozzcast.
They didn't have to be here.
That's true. Yeah, they could have blown us out. Right. So it's super, super cool, and we really appreciate it. But enough about the. So let's get into you guys. You guys had a show last night, right?
Yeah.
Where was your show?
in Dunlap, Tennessee. Yeah.
How did it go?
It was good. It was a fall like Oktoberfest thing at a brewery out there, and it was real fun.
Did you guys dress up?
We didn't last night. We did the night before last when we played in Alabama at another brewery. We dressed up as the Big Lebowski.
Oh,
What?
hold on. You guys just broke the show wide open.
You're not just saying that because you knew that Corey is a huge Lebowski fan. You actually did?
Donnie.
She was Donnie. I was Walter. Our drummer James was the dude.
Yeah, we're gonna on Halloween. We have another show. We're doing it again.
Yeah.
There will be pictures.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, please.
Nice.
Please take some pictures.
So I wish I had the pictures loaded
Which pictures?
of me as the dude. Because
You know, if you get out of the chair and you put your leg on the chair, they might should be able to see the tattoo that you have.
I was going to do that in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what was it? 2 years ago, there's here in Michigan, there was a bowling alley that does a Day of the Dude festival, and so Bob and I were going, and I asked him, what were the chances that he would dress up as Walter, and he's like, absolutely 0% chance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, so maybe like 3 hours before. No, it was a couple days that you finally decided. He's like, hey, man, listen.
I said, all right, I'll do it.
He's like, for you, I will do this. I said, I definitely appreciate that. So Bob and I went to the Bolero for Day of the Dude, and they had a costume contest. And at first, Bob and I were literally the only two in the entire bowling alley that were there for Day of the Dude.
I've never felt so stupid in my entire life.
Yeah,
That was us on Friday.
And so they literally were like, well, you guys won the contest. Like, congratulations. There's going to be a band here later. I guess it's just going to be you guys listening to them. And
That's amazing.
And so like 15 minutes before the band came on, they were still like setting up and everything. The bowling alley just got flooded. I mean, flooded with other people. And I was very proud of my costume. I had shorter hair at the time, but I have the actual sweater. I have the V-neck. I have the plaid shorts. And I even got a pair of the actual jellies that he wore in the movie. Yeah. So I'm like, I felt pretty confident. Some of these other guys showing up, though, were on point. So I'm like, oh, like we had gone from a default win to now we might not win anything.
Oh, it's definitely not going to win. Yeah.
Yeah. So finally it comes around for the costume contest. And I got caught. Well, Bob, like, first he's like, if you don't get anything but first, he's like, you realize what you need to do next year. He's like, you're going to have to grow your hair out.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, fair enough.
You're going to find the holes in your game and plug those holes, and we'll come back and fuck all these people. You're going to win this contest.
Yeah. So I ended up coming in second, and I think the jellies were the number one sell on that second place win.
Yeah.
But the following day, I went out, shaved the little hair I had off, and started growing it out. So I'm going on 2 years now of growing my hair out.
It's the only time he's ever listened to me. He's like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to devote my life to making sure I win this fucking contest, no matter what. Despite my wife being upset with me for 2 straight years, that's just what it's going to take.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and then I like I said, a huge fan of the movie. I had just gotten a tattoo. Well, a previous tattoo kind of covered up and fixed from an artist that does very, very good work. And I wanted something with the Big Lebowski incorporated into it. But the theme that she drew up for me was more nautical, and the Big Lebowski didn't really fit into there. So she's like, well, you could come back and we could do a second piece at some point. So I think like 6 months ago now,
Sure.
I went back and I got my Big Lebowski piece. And I'm going to try and show you guys here on camera without...
No, this is going to be... Just to watch him attempt to do this should be worth the price of admission.
All right, let's see if we can do this, Bob.
He may end up... Do you want me to... Hold on. Hold on a minute. Let's see if we can just... No, keep going.
Oh boy.
Man, you're going to have to hold on.
Oh boy.
Swirly chair.
Something bad's gonna happen.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah. That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got the sunglasses from the movie cover.
Mm-hmm.
So
Heck yeah.
So yeah, you just broke his brain by saying that you dressed up as the.
yeah, sorry guys, I digress. I did not expect that.
We've now gone 10 minutes and really haven't talked much about our guest, which
Exactly.
is not a good recipe for wanting them to come back. So let's reset here for a second and talk about. So how did you guys get started? How about how long ago did you get started, and what was sort of the impetus behind you saying, "Listen, I think we really want to make this official."
We actually were dating in college, and we've been dating for about 2 years. And we started the band. We started just writing our own music in like 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
And then I think we officially started the band in 2011 because we got other people involved. At the time, I was on bass. We had 2 guitar players and a drummer, and it was a very different sound. And then we got married in 2011, and we moved to Nashville. So after that, things have changed a lot over the years, but we're still doing it.
Okay.
So and real quick to interject too. So you said you were on bass. I assume you served.
Say what?
You said you. No, yeah, you said you. Well, you were on. Oh, never mind. I'm an idiot.
What are you talking about?
I'm so sorry.
Bass guitar.
I just got what you were talking about.
I had a completely different thought in my head. Sorry, man.
Believe it or not, we did prepare for this interview.
We did. We spoke with you guys briefly prior, but
but your military service did not come up during
Yeah.
that conversation for some crazy reason.
That's really funny.
all right.
I don't know where to take this from here.
Oh my goodness.
I'm still riding high on the Big Lebowski
No,
story,
I
Bob.
get it. I get it. Okay, so
Let's go bowling.
Exactly.
so James is your drummer. When did I apologize? When did you may have said this already, but my brain is now oatmeal based on the whole military thing. When did James come into the picture for the band as a drummer?
He started playing with us the beginning of 2019. So we've been at it for a little while, and several other people had been in the band. And then James started playing with us the beginning of 2019. And that's actually when Josh and I started doing the band full time. So we quit our jobs the end of 2018.
Okay.
Started playing music full time, and James joined us then.
Did you start when you started to tour or play different gigs? Was there a particular one that you remember as being your first, like, oh my God, we're gonna play live in front of people for the first time?
I mean, that'd probably be back in 2012. We would do, like, before 2019, we would do a lot of weekend runs, and we both worked during the week at a bank for a long time. But I'm trying to think of the first one.
I mean, we did a couple in Kentucky still before we moved.
Yeah, we did that even before we moved to Nashville. I remember like one of the first ones where we were like on the road for like 3 or 4 days though. I think it was in 2013 with Greg on drums, and it was like probably Lexington, Louisville, and then Indianapolis, and then back to Nashville. But I remember being at work on Monday and being pretty exhausted.
That's always a sign of a good show. Well, how would you? I was just about to say, like, I would describe your sound as this, but I don't want to. No one wants to hear what I think you sound like. So, what would for our listeners who may not be familiar with you, but who are going to be, how would you describe your sound?
We call it fuzz rock soul.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a weird mixture. Other people have said it's kind of like if Black Sabbath was fronted by Amy Winehouse. So
that's interesting.
Just yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely the kind of the tag. I would say, like, on a broader thing, like alternative rock, as a big spectrum, because we do have a lot of albums and stuff. But yeah, I would say that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as a new listener, I'll say, I mean, I by the way, loved the album Keep On Fighting. Actually,
Thank you.
I was telling Bob, actually, after I listened to it in preparation, because I'd listened to some other things, I didn't hit skip one time. Like, usually I'll listen to an album and there would be a song. This isn't hitting for me. Let me see what's next. I went end to end. And I was impressed with. I think alternative is a great thing because not each song it's different. Each song, the cadences, the guitar styles, just amazing, and even the drumming style. I talked to Bob for about 45 minutes about just the variation in one album. It wasn't all the same. Very, very, very cool. I actually have added you to 3 of my playlists.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was a long conversation. I'm like, dude, save it for the podcast. We're talking to them on Sunday. I don't need to hear this. They need to hear that.
Yeah, good stuff.
The fuzz rock I absolutely love, but that it really ticked a lot of the boxes for bands that I had already been listening to for a long, long time. But Felicia, your vocals really, I don't think that I've heard vocals quite like yours ever before. Like they're definitely distinct, and they lend that soul to the tracks that you're describing. That I was struggling to come up with who does she remind me of, and I could not. I didn't think Amy Winehouse, but I didn't think any. I'm like, I don't know that I've heard anybody else who sounds like her.
Thank you.
I was the whole band. I thought I was thinking 2 Feet is you guys reminded me a little bit of that band. I really love them, and I'm like obscurish, but I'm like
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're copying me. So when you decided to settle on a sound, fuzz rock with soul, who were some of the influences musically that you, both of you and James, had that started to sort of form what you wanted to do for yourself and the niche that you wanted to carve out with your band? It's
interesting because like when James joined the band, we'd already had 3 albums out, and but we had always had multiple members, and it always had been like pushing a boulder uphill to get an album done. Like the previous album before James joined the band, Trouble Comes, we had 2 drummers on it, and I'm really proud of that album. But I think I'm proud of it because I know how much we almost broke up and stuff during that time. You know, not broke up, but like it almost, fell apart a couple times. And
it was a very difficult record to make.
Yeah, and so like when James joined the band, I think the first practice we wrote 2 of the songs off Wastelands, like in the first 2-hour practice, and it's something we've never really talked about influences with him. We always just are like get excited about a moment, and
but like bands that we do like that do influences are like Jack White and Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin. I grew up on like Etta James and Ella Fitzgerald, and so it's like a weird mishmash of lots of different. I mean, and like if we go to like even like folk stuff or like bluegrass, we like Nickel Creek and Punch Brothers, and it's just like a weird mishmash.
And James really likes a lot of metal and hip hop, and like he brings those elements in on the drums, and it's really cool. So it's definitely a really cool mishmash of like everything that we like, and it's nice because like when we're writing songs with him, we don't really have to. We try not to label anything. We try to keep it as fresh as possible. Mm-hmm. So, if that makes sense.
What would you say I don't know if it was different for this particular record, the last one. And by the way, because I don't want to misquote, I've after having taken a look at your catalog and listening to almost all of it, a few weeks, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, as we're you guys had already said yes, and we were starting to prep, and Corey and Todd and I were starting to talk about what we wanted it to look like and how we wanted to approach it. I'm like, oh yeah, guys, this is their latest album. Like if you want, if you want to go with the latest one, or if you're the kind of person that likes to work your way up from the beginning of the catalog up to the most recent, whatever you want to do, but here's the latest one. And like the next day I'm like, they just put out another one. There's another one coming out live from everywhere where you're doing live tracks from a few of your different albums. And I'm like, they didn't mention this on the meeting. Like now there's another one I can listen to. So So I think that's correct, right? You have another album I think it's available now. Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
live from everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep, available on Bandcamp for those who are interested, which should be everybody. But what I wanted to ask was for this studio album, the Keep on Fighting, if the process was different, then maybe that's your answer. But what is your songwriting process like when the three of you sit down and you're like, okay, we've got studio time booked. I've got a few ideas. Each of you may have a few ideas. Has it been the same ever since James joined the band, or did you have a different songwriting process for this particular album for what you wanted to do?
Since James joined the band, it's been, and I'll knock on wood on this, but it's been incredibly easy. Just because we definitely bring songs to practice and ideas and stuff. Like a lot of songs me and Felicia will write together, or have like a verse, chorus, or an idea. But Keep on Fighting, we always call. I think we always refer to it as like our 2020 record because we were stuck at home. We weren't able to tour, so we got together probably 3 times a week.
So much.
And
just played music.
And we would just jam, and work on
play video games.
Yeah, we would play music and then play video games and watch movies and stuff. And that album was, I'd say, the most organic album we've ever made. Because, I don't think we ever really worked on stuff without the 3 of us in the room. And then once... and we record everything ourselves in our home studio. And so once we had those songs kind of under our belt, over about a year, we had about 15 song ideas or so, we were playing them on these live streams. And then when we started playing live again, we really worked out the parts that we wanted. So everything came about as organically as it can. And I always say that album sounds like frustration and anger and being stuck at home, but then also there's always I think there's underlying hopefulness to it, or at least I hope there is. But that was a really fun album.
It was. We had a good time making it.
Now, do you feel like the unique circumstances of Keep on Fighting, given you had the pandemic going on, you were looking? I think it sounds to me like you were looking for the music as kind of your release. We can't go anywhere. There's nothing we could do, but this is something that keeps us moving, makes us happy, keeps us hopeful. Do you feel like that's going to have your latest album is a live tracks that you've done in the past that is on sort of a live compilation album, but the next time you go in the studio, is it going to change anything for you based on the different method that the different circumstances that Keep on Fighting was recorded under?
We actually been, we're pretty far along on the next one. We've got 10 of the 10 songs tracked on drums. So I'm working on bass lines right now. It actually has been quite a different album because we're back to touring. We're still writing a lot, but we're
kind of doing what we did in 2019 when we did Wastelands, is where we have written a few songs and then we play them on the road and we kind of see how they feel with the crowd, what stuff needs to change. And so it's kind of cool to get a crowd feel for the songs.
Cool. And
road tested.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And this batch of songs is very different, but exciting. I'm not totally sure yet what's going to happen with them, but we're still chopping away.
You mentioned White Stripes as being an influence, and there's a couple of other 2-piece bands or 3-piece bands where you've got vocals, guitar, bass, drums, and you don't necessarily have a dedicated person for each. In the studio, you're handling the bass parts, Josh. But how do you? And I quiz my kid about this because he's also in a band, and I'm like, so what do you do if you're? I'm listening to Year of October, and they go on stage, and there's 3 of them, and he doesn't have 4 arms, he's not playing bass and guitar. So how do you cover that? With doing it. And so I could tell you what he told me, but I didn't really get it because I'm not in a band. So I want to ask you, how do you take care of that and go okay, I know what we did in the studio, but now we've got to go and make it palatable for the stage.
Right. So definitely what I do. My amp has got a lot of low end. I actually have a custom modded out amp that's pretty dope. that my buddy built for me. So it gets a lot of oomph to it. I have the low end up all the way. My setup is super simple. I just go in through the amp, and then when we get real heavy, I'll throw on my octave pedal. But I try not to overdo it live, just because like I don't want it to be. I've seen a lot of bands that are two pieces and it's real muddy, or like, you know, you got to keep your tone like clear. I've messed around with like a splitter, but I've not gone that route yet, just because I can't get it to sound right. But my setup's super easy. I just use my amp, and I got my pedal board, and I play. Everything I do is very focused on groove, and I think it works well live with the album, because we write everything as a 3-piece, and then I really honestly, like, we write everything with the guitar part in mind, and then I have to break it down on the album and maybe simplify the guitar part with the bass line, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I kind of do it reverse way.
But if it works for you, there's no wrong answer, I guess. The only problem is now I got to tell my kid, okay, I guess you were right.
Damn it, Jack!
Hey, Bob, I want to break in with a question.
Absolutely.
Here. I'm gonna take us off the albums. I'd like to hear a story about the most sketch place you play. You guys have been touring a long time. I want to hear your Blues Brothers kind of chicken wire.
Oh, you talk about the good old boys at Bob's Country Bunker? That kind of a story? Okay.
Probably Nick's Ice House.
Yeah, we played a place called Nick's Ice House, which ironically burned down.
Can't burn down a place made of ice.
No reaction. We get
to this place, and it's like dirt floors, and then there is like
the bar stools are toilets,
like toilet seats.
And,
nice. That's classy.
Like, nice. Functional toilet seats?
I hope not. Yeah, maybe.
You never have to leave. Just sit there all night.
Yeah.
It's great.
They didn't have. I think they had one toilet, but they did have a urinal that was just full of ice, which is why they call it the Ice House. So you just.
But it was all dirt floors, and then there was like a part that had a pool table, and you could like see through the slats. There was like wood over for that.
It was
part.
Dirt, and then there was a bunch of wooded floors as well. And there was a couple parts in the wood where there was holes in the wood, and you could see underneath Nick's Ice House, and you would see like rats scurrying around.
Oh my!
Yeah, we played for like 3 hours.
Yeah, we played for 3 hours,
and people kept coming up to me like, "Y'all are good, but I think you do better at the Gothic place on the other side of town."
Wow!
Fewer rats, less toilet seats.
What was nice though, me and James had a good time though, because they had a free foosball table, so we just played.
Oh well, okay, well.
So we played all night.
Oh boy!
If you had led with free foosball table, then I wouldn't care what else you said.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it was definitely it was a lean table. Like if you were playing on one side, you were just gonna win every time.
Well, you just gotta pick. You gotta pick up the table when you get the ball. That's all.
But yeah, that place was sketchy. I know we got paid somehow, but I don't know how they made any money.
Yeah.
Sounds like they were kind of in the hole already a little bit with money. So.
Oh, I see what you did there.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of in the hole, we are at the point of the show now where Corey is telling me desperately that he needs a shot. So
yeah.
Josh, Felicia, if you've got something there, even if it's a cup of coffee, Todd's going to reach into his cooler full of Lego bricks, and
I am not, because in honor of our guests.
Oh Christ!
I picked out a fine Tennessee whiskey. Little Gentleman Jack today, baby.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
Oh, man, I'm going to apologize to Mary right now for the condition you're going to be in.
It's going to be a long Sunday for Mary.
Yeah. All right, Corey. I'm going to do this carefully.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Cheers.
All right.
Salute.
Cheers,
Cheers, guys. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. I haven't had my gentleman in a long time. I've been on this Crown Apple kick and what is it? Twisted Tea whiskey.
Oh, nice.
No, not nice. We've been dealing with that for months. I'm like, come on, drink something else.
There's a Twisted Tea whiskey?
There is.
Oh,
there is.
Boy. Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
What is James drinking now?
Oh, he's drinking like tequila soda or vodka soda.
But it's basically like a college girl drink, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So-
He just found it out.
Are they the high noons by any chance? The high noon tequila and soda?
He's not drinking the can. No, he's just ordering like
Oh,
tequila
just
sodas.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Feeling
Somebody
sodas.
at a place gave him a tequila sunrise, which was pretty cute.
But he's a
on that
drummer in a
tasty
rock
drink.
band. You can pull off a tequila sunrise as a rock drummer, I think.
For sure.
Especially if you just like stride right off the stage and you're like, I'll have my tequila sunrise now, thank you.
Pinky's out, right? Pinky's out.
Todd, any more Blues Brothers related questions you'd like to ask?
Just one other Blues Brothers. This is a quick one. So I've watched it like 6 times. The video for Come and Get It. I think that's pre-James or an interlude, but fun or effed up? Because I'm like, if that balloon hit me in the head, I mean, everybody kept smiling, but I'm like, I wanted your take. Was that a fun thing to do, or was that just like, we're making a video?
It was very fun. We planned out the whole thing, and we actually filled up all the water balloons. So the lead up to it was us, but we filled up like
4,000.
Yeah, it was like 3,500 to 4,000 water balloons.
Because
the
we had
week before, and had them in containers in our garage. And
but yeah, the day after, we were very sore because there was a lot of takes that didn't end up in there, and we were just getting blasted.
Yeah, we decided that like after 20 years old, maybe even less, you shouldn't do water balloon fights anymore, because the next morning we woke up and we were like, we can't move.
You could tell, like I said, that's why I asked the question. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. In the moment, it was very fun.
And the death. So each of us has like a death scene too, and like my death scene, you see me get hit in the nuts twice. Once it was straight on, and then I curl up in a ball and someone hits me from underneath.
Wait, how hard were you hit that it was a death scene?
Oh, it was bad. Yeah.
He's not real right now.
Well, it was funny too though, because like obviously when we're shooting the scene, there's no music, and I could just hear them all laughing. Like there was a bunch of children there, and they just, whoever hit me was definitely, it was intentional.
I think your assumption might be correct there, buddy. That's...
If they agree to come back at some later point, do you think we can get the kid who hit him in the nuts to also join our video?
We can track him down.
He might be mad though, because I think we cut him from the video.
Yeah.
His face was not, it never appears.
So he's sitting in
Payback's a bitch.
seedy apartment
Payback's
right
a
now,
bitch.
just cutting their pictures out of printouts from the web, going, Josh, I shall have my revenge, Josh. I shall have my sweet, sweet revenge.
There's a murder board all over his room.
Right.
Just year of October.
Red thread going like all sorts of So I want to. If you don't want to ask this, if you don't answer this question, I completely understand, because sometimes when you talk to people who write music or write poetry or create art, and you ask them like, "What's this about?" A lot of times the answer that you get is, "I want it to be whatever you want it to be about." But sometimes people are like, "Oh, here's what I was thinking." So the question is, for Keep on Fighting, having listened to the album, and then I thought, as part of preparing, I should probably what do I think this album is about? So I wrote down a few things, but those are just my interpretations of it, and I was interested to know if this was something that you two would be willing to share. What the theme of the album is, and what you were trying to go for.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think we'd definitely be down to share what we were intending.
What I was intending.
Your crazy brain over here.
I do have a weird brain.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
that would be great.
I think that we should say it, not just saying that we would answer.
Oh, you could say I would say it, but I'm not going to.
No. Sorry, I thought we.
No. I think that it was kind of like fighting through depression and like the weird place that we were in as a community and the world, and just continuing to push through I'm trying to think of like all the individual songs because they kind of all like have separate. That's kind of like the overlying
Yes.
feel. But yeah, like everything in between, like the Hounds is like
Like the Hounds.
like escaping one monster to go into the hands of another, and
It's I think too, like the title track, like "Keep on Fighting," is pretty on the nose what it's talking about, but it's really just like you get knocked down on the mat and you get back up every time, which I would say is like it's been kind of our motto of the band, since we started.
Yeah.
Because things happen and they happen to everybody, and it's how you respond to them. So like I think we came up with. I can't remember who came up with the chorus of that song. I think it was both of us. Really.
Yeah.
But like, I remember like when we knew it had to be the title track because like it just was it felt like it encapsulated the entire record.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an interesting, as someone who has never played in a band, but you listen to albums and you're like, oh, I wonder why that particular song, why the album has that title. It's not necessarily obvious where you go like, oh, that's the strongest song on the album. A lot of times album titles reflect a particular song that the band feels like, oh, this was the theme that we were going for. Do you feel like that was in this case, as Josh, as you said, because it just sort of spoke to you as being like, this should be the theme of the album?
Yeah,
I think so, because it wasn't one of the first singles we even put out.
No, it wasn't even a single.
Yeah.
So like I think when we were looking at the entirety of the album, we were like, it has to be "Keep on Fighting." I think even just as like a band mantra, So.
Which
favorite song is "O Discordia," by the way. Love that song.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you.
That one's based in the Dark Tower series by Stephen King.
Thank you. Then I don't need to ask my next question. I'm like, is this Roman mythology? Like, what is the basis of? Nope, Dark Tower.
Yep.
That was it. It would have been would have saved me a lot of time and mental anguish, just personal anguish, trying to figure out what you meant by. No, of course that makes sense. Todd, have you read the Dark Tower series?
I have not.
Get on it,
You should.
please. Start immediately.
I'm on it. I'm on it. I just started reading fiction books this year, so I'm on it.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, excellent.
You're
So
how
you've got
old?
a lot
You're
of
how old, Todd?
experience. He's
I've
literally the
not
oldest
been a
member of
big
the
fiction.
podcast.
I'm a tech geek. I like leadership and tech stuff. Love it. But I'm expanding.
This is a
Hitchhiker's
lot
Guide
like
to the
you.
Universe was my.
Hang on, Todd. You love tech stuff, huh? I think you need to work on that, buddy. I'm sorry, but I think you're the least tech savvy on the podcast.
Listen, you're talking to Todd or me?
Todd.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is a comedy podcast.
Just because you've mastered your little tiny corner of the show and you get it done, and you keep it moving, you keep that little keyboard tree just running and running along.
Todd loves
Doesn't
tech.
mean Todd doesn't know tech.
Okay.
No, argument for another time.
Agree to disagree. But that's one of the things that I when you talk about doing shows and trying to have some sort of a routine. Is there a routine that you guys have before you go on stage? Something that you always like to do right before you go on stage or before as you're preparing?
Cocaine shots.
Jesus, Todd.
I'm just checking.
Are you saying cocaine, shots or cocaine shots?
Yes.
I think we just we're pretty casual before shows, honestly. Like, I mean, I get a little anxious, honestly, just to get going, but like, I don't really get nervous. And I don't really have like a routine necessarily. Like every show is kind of different. We a lot of times it's like if we get fed from the place, I'm like battling to get food before we can, before we play. So I'm not, because I'm like, if the kitchen shuts down, I don't want to not get a meal.
Yeah, and we're super DIY, so I'm like running the merch table before we go on stage. So I'm usually talking to people.
Yeah, usually we're just hanging out. if we're playing like a 2 or 3 hour set list or set, we usually don't make a set list. We usually just go off the cuff, which is exciting. If we play like a 40, 45-minute set, we'll definitely make a set list just to keep it rolling. Yeah, we usually make a set list like 5 minutes before. Felicia's usually trying to
Yeah,
find
that
a-
really is the last thing we do.
Yeah.
It's all of our friends like show up to shows and they have their nice typed out set lists that they've pre-planned, and I'm like running around the venue trying to find a notepad. It's not good. I should be better.
Yeah, we definitely we do. I think we do that though, just because like in the moment, you never know what you want to play, and we have about 70 songs, so it's like I don't want to write a set list and then be like, I don't want to play any of those, So we just do it what we want. We get the three of us will get together and we'll work out a set list and go from there.
Yeah, I've been to a number of shows this year, and it's funny how the bigger the band gets, the more the set list never changes. Every show is the same. There may be like one song that they swap out for something else based on maybe where they are or what they're feeling that night. But for the most part, like 95% of the set list is exactly the same from show to show. So I always appreciate bands like you guys who vary it up. You just switch it up and just especially if you've got, if you're playing to areas where you've been before and you've got people who are going to come back and see you, who've seen you before. They don't necessarily want to see the same show. They may want to see you guys like no surprise us a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. And then I always like if people are there to see us, I always like asking what they want to hear, just because I think that's cool too. So it's kind of it's a little bit of both for sure. People always surprise me with the ones that they want to hear, so it's always fun.
I think that's really cool. I think that's really cool. That especially you kind of pulling the crowd to say like, oh yeah, because again, like Bob said, you go to these big huge shows, and obviously fans can't have any input in it. So to be a fan and to come to a show and have one of the band members that come up to you and say, hey, like what would you like to hear? I think that would blow as a fan of the band, that would blow me away. And I'd be like, wow, I actually had input on their show. And then when you do hear it come on, that would just give that that fan that more of a rush to be like, I'm so glad I'm here, and I'm glad I'm a fan of Year of October.
And that's when Corey be like, that was my song. I picked it.
It's all me, guys.
So when are you guys coming out to Seattle?
We need
I
to.
wish. We've been trying to figure out how to get out that way. It's just
You know
a
what's
long
closer than
drive.
Seattle? Detroit.
We are actually working on Detroit. That might be in the spring. So.
Well, you'll have to let us know.
Let us know the dates. I'll have
be
to come
there.
into town.
Yeah,
Todd. Yeah, Todd will apparently fly in.
You fly in from Seattle to see you in Detroit.
That would be awesome.
And you have a spot to stay if you're out in Seattle.
Yeah, where can he land his helicopter
you.
when you come to Detroit? Come to town.
Directly on top of the venue.
There's a couple neighborhoods that are open, I think.
Where did
Damn you, sir. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah.
Detroit's on its way back up, though. Okay.
Oh, I know.
I see
it's
what you're doing.
Well. It's doing well. We just watched the movie Barbarian, which is a cool horror movie. But they have that. Have you watched that? Have y'all seen that?
Barbarian.
I don't think I have.
I don't think.
I don't
Well,
think I
if it's a
have.
horror movie about Detroit, we're probably going to stay away, at least for the time being.
You should definitely watch it.
It's good.
It's really good. It was.
But it's
it was
based in
surprising.
an old, rundown neighborhood. And
Okay.
It was very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very scary.
Underground tunnels and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean,
it hits a little too close to home. These.
Detroit's really scary without
Right.
without the threat of zombies or any other horror stuff going on. So
Yeah.
I can understand if you add that to the mix, why it would be even scarier.
We went to a super cool jazz club in Detroit. We were at a wedding, and I can't remember what it was called, but it's one of the coolest jazz clubs I've ever been to. It had a really cool old Art Deco mural behind the stage.
It was also 2000.
Cliff Bells.
It was 2010.
Was it Cliff Bells?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
It was
Good night,
Cliff
everyone.
Bells.
That's been the podcast for the night. Yeah, it's a really cool. It's like one block off of Woodward, across from Ford Field and Comerica and Hockey Town Cafe. It's like right in the center. It is a really really cool club. You should take
cool. We
you should
played
take
a wedding.
Danielle there one day.
I think I've been there.
Have you?
I don't know if she has though.
Definitely.
Well,
Anniversary.
when Year of October comes back, I can take her to see the concert.
Holy shit, that'd be
Oh, nice.
fantastic.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Oh, we'll be there for sure.
Oh yeah, if you guys when you guys come to Detroit, without a doubt, we will definitely be there.
Yeah, the challenge will be: will Corey be able to keep himself from recording a remote podcast while he's in line to get into the show?
You know,
You'll have to
I
help
just
us with the set list.
bought myself a new
I'll definitely help you out with the set list.
Perfect.
Well, I think you guys segued into a perfect point. The Barbarian kind of sets the table for some scary movie talk, man.
Have we moved there already, Todd? Because I know that was something that we wanted to touch on tonight.
It feels like, I mean, this is year of October's time. Josh, Felicia, what are you thinking?
I mean, I'm always down to talk scary movies.
We love
Todd.
we love movies.
Todd, I've been driving up till now. I think you need to take it from here.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hit the button.
Oh, I'm hitting the button?
Hit the
Well,
button.
which button? The gentleman's agreement one?
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Gentlemen's agreement.
Now there's a
Gentlemen's
story behind this, but I have to let the song play up until a certain point, and then I can cut it back. And when you hear that point, you'll understand.
Gentlemen's agreement. Oh, gentlemen's agreement. Oh, it's the motherfucking gentlemen's agreement.
That's it. That's it. So we hit that point. All right, Todd.
I'm upset that y'all all don't have those stashes in real life.
I know. I need a big handlebar mustache. That's what I'm missing.
Yeah.
You know what?
No. So this
Challenge accepted.
I've never heard that what I'm missing is a handlebar mustache. It's never been said to me in my life.
Guys, you know how long it's taken us to convince Bob to even grow out a goatee, and even at that, I don't think it was necessarily us.
No.
I think it was his girlfriend Lori that was like, "No, it actually looks good," because he was always insistent that he's like, "No, my facial hair, it looks terrible. It's not good." But from what I've noticed, and him and I have not actually discussed this in person yet, so this is breaking news on the podcast.
Wow.
But yeah, I
can't wait for it to end.
He's been holding on to the goatee for a little bit now. So I think the next step, logically, is a sweet handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
I think having guests on and then forcing them to listen to talk about my goatee is really where I wanted. That's where I wanted the show to go tonight.
I mean, Felicia brought it up.
That was your fault.
It is. It's my fault.
It is. All right, Todd, save us.
Yeah, well, so this segment has been seen ups and downs. Some people hate it, some people love it. I actually love critiquing films, movies, and whatnot. And so we typically assign shows, but I think given it's Halloween, let's talk about some of the scary movies. And I actually went back and rewatched some of the scary stuff I thought was scary when I was younger. And so I'm excited to hear what's your top 3 scary movies as we are in this deep into Halloween season.
If you can't limit it to 3 and you must go to 5 or 7 or whatever it is,
No problem at all.
Feel free.
I can go first.
Go first.
I'd say my top 3. I really love Hereditary. So I'd say Hereditary, The Shining, and The Witch.
Oh yeah.
So,
I don't think I've seen
no
Hereditary.
particular order.
Yeah, but
It's,
the witch was pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Hereditary is terrifying.
Hereditary is
It's very good.
it really got me.
I have heard that too. Todd, have you seen all those?
I have not. I saw The Shining and The Witch, and yes, very terrifying. Hereditaries. I'm actually just keying it in so I can put that on my list.
It's great. The less you know about it, the better.
Yeah.
Like our drummer just watched it, and he didn't know anything about it, and he literally was like, the next time we were in the car, he was like, "Holy shit!"
Awesome, Felicia.
I mean, my number one's probably The Shining, which you took on your list. But I love
Damn
The
it,
Shining.
Josh.
I know. Oh my God, it's gone. Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I also love. Oh God. Yes, that's my number one. The Stepford Wives from 1975. The original,
original.
Stepford Wives.
Okay.
Yeah, not the remake. Not the remake. We don't discuss the remake. The original is like what got me into thriller and horror. I watched it when I was maybe in middle school. I don't know, and it was terrifying, and I loved every minute of it.
Oh wow.
Ira Levin, the author that wrote the book, is probably one of my favorite authors too. So,
Also did like Rosemary. He did Rosemary's Baby.
which is another one of my
Oh,
favorites.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. I definitely recommend some of his plays. What's the one? Veronica's Room is like a 50-page, 75-page play, and
Okay.
it is
Terrifying.
great. And it sent chills down my spine multiple times. So
Nice. But hey, so I started my rewatching with a dud. I
Great
didn't remember seeing-
start. Off to a great start.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling again. I watched Polter. I'm like, I got to get back into scary movies, so I watched Poltergeist, and it did not stand up.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you though, Todd. You know what stands up is the story that it was based on. That's a fucking terrifying read. I remember reading that when I was a kid.
Yeah,
And I
the
know you
movie
just
did not.
started reading books that were made up and didn't actually happen, so you should add that to your list.
Well, maybe I'll do that because the movie didn't stand up. I was expecting a lot more, and so I was kind of bummed. But things heated up when I got to The Exorcist.
That was great.
and again, the Damien Omen series, those wig me out. And The Witch. That's been my and I actually started last night before I went to bed. I was just on a roll, and I started the Amityville Horror again. That actually.
That was.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a scary one for sure.
And to see James Brolin when he was young, holy moly!
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Did he look like Josh Brolin? Were they pretty? I know they're father and son, but
Yeah, you can absolutely see the resemblance, but he's like young.
okay. What were my top five? Thanks for asking, Todd.
Yes, I was gonna. Well, I thought you were just going to dive in. You started talking.
I actually wrote this down because Todd, during our 45-minute pre-podcast conversation, mentioned it. And I'm like, I probably should do this because I know he's going to launch into it. So I got to say, Alien, the first Alien, was such a good, and I cannot get neither of my children or my girlfriend to watch this movie. And
I love Alien. I'll watch it with you.
done. Come to Detroit. I'll bring the projector.
Nice.
The Fly, not the original, but the Cronenberg Fly.
Cronenberg, yeah. Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, so good. And it's got those wicked special effects, which is exactly why my third choice is American Werewolf in London.
Oh, great movie too. Special effects are gnarly in that too.
Yeah, so good. And I know
Not so
Todd
good in
said
Poltergeist.
no, Poltergeist was. I think that was in the part of the '80s where some people were. I think they were trying to go for very early CGI, but when they did American Werewolf in London, they're like, nope, I want this to be completely real, and we're hiring Rob Bottin, who is a master of this stuff. So that's what they did. So you said top three, Todd, but I'm actually going top five because you can't leave out Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And then this might be my list topper is the original Thing from John Carpenter in '82. Talk about actual physical special effects.
Yeah, the Thing is awesome.
Yeah, unbelievable. Corey?
Oh, I'm going to have to say Halloween, the original.
Okay.
Annabelle,
Nice.
The Conjuring.
The Conjuring is terrifying.
Yes, and then all the documentaries and YouTube series that have been made about the Conjuring house. Of course, you got to follow up with those. I'm going to have to throw The Shining in there, even though I know it's been done twice now.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Number three.
Josh.
It is. It's such a good movie though. I can't not put it in there.
Have either of you seen?
One of the-
Have either of you seen Dr. Sleep?
No, we've
I
read the
read
book.
the book, and I was.
Is it any good?
The book's great.
Good.
I was a little mad at the movie because the movie has nothing to do with the book, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and I haven't seen the movie yet, but just from the trailer, I knew it was completely.
Oh,
different.
you knew from the trailer? I mean, that's
Yeah,
really.
I mean, in the book, they don't go. There's no hotel to go back to. The hotel gets burned down.
Wow,
At the
that's.
end of The Shining.
So I gotta
in the
believe
book.
that Stephen King probably is not going to give this one his thumbs up then.
He actually, in a weird way, the director convinced him that this was the right way to go. So I watched the thing on that, but I haven't watched the movie.
He watched the movie, but he watched the interview on
I
it.
probably need to just watch it. I need to just see if I like it. Just
Yeah, I
treat
think
it
we
as
all-
something different. Did you like it?
I haven't seen it yet. It sounds like most of the people that are on this show have not seen it, but we all love The Shining. So maybe if you guys would ever love to come back, maybe that's the thing we do is we all watch Dr. Sleep and then we come back.
You don't
and we
watch
go,
Dr. Sleep and then dog it
I can
Yeah.
on the podcast.
No,
Exactly.
No, I
We do that.
guarantee Todd is gonna. That's just how Todd is. He's a shit stirrer. So he's gonna go like, "Listen, I know all you guys hated it, but here's what I loved about Dr. Sleep."
It's Poltergeist 2.
You know Todd so well already.
Exactly. You know me already.
Yeah,
It gets
Yeah.
a solid F.
Solid F. I was gonna say we did just see Longlegs. Did y'all see Longlegs?
can you stream it anywhere yet, or is it still a theater thing?
I think you can rent it,
Yeah, I think you
streaming.
can rent and stream it.
but
No,
Yeah, we
when I
saw
say
it.
when I
Very
say
good.
stream, I mean can I watch it for free?
yeah, I
I
don't, see
don't
it
think
anywhere.
so. We saw it in theaters.
It was amazing.
Hmm
Rip Long Legs.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that because I actually just watched Smile. That's the.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Our drummer's been telling us we need to watch that. We're on a horror movie watch through because it's October, so it's
Yep.
on our list too.
Yep.
Todd, what were your thoughts on that? Because I'm in the same boat as Josh and Felicia.
I thought Smile was a solid C. It was very, very intriguing. I guess I wasn't frightened, and you kind of and I was able when I'm able to figure out kind of how it's going to end. I think that's kind of I call it lazy writing, right? It's like, okay, I know based on how this thing moves, I know how this is going to end, and there's still 40 minutes left in the movie.
right.
So
They did a Smile too,
they have a
and
Smile
Jack
2 out.
Nicholson's son is in it.
Yeah.
Wait,
Really?
what?
Once it's free to watch, I think I'll probably give it a go.
Oh, you and I subscribe to the
C
same.
minus.
Yeah.
You know me very well.
I don't know why they didn't call it The Frown.
The Frown.
That's the
All right.
scary movie.
I think
Good
that's,
night, everybody.
I think that's the episode title.
The frown.
The frown.
No. I can't do that. That is not a good like. Hey, come listen to our episode with Year of October. We
Frown.
call it the frown.
I mean,
Wah wah.
Everyone's just frowning.
Right.
but and to give you guys some insight too, a C minus from Todd, or even a C plus.
Oh my God.
is basically like an A for anyone else.
Yeah, you're so lucky to get. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've continued to watch movies that otherwise I would have just thrown aside. Be like, nope, it was garbage. But Todd gave me a C plus, and I'm like, oh, it's got to be good.
What's an A movie, Todd?
An A movie.
Oh. Yeah.
When the game stands, I'm a sports
listen
guy.
Listen to Todd start to spin right now. Like,
Yeah,
have I
yeah.
ever
I'm a
graded
sports
anything
guy.
an A? I'm not
The
sure.
movie I'd give it a couple of A's. When the game stands tall.
Okay.
I love the movie The Banker with Samuel L. Jackson. Even though these knuckleheads won't watch
for
it.
fuck's sake. Are you serious? Is this the movie that you
Solid
tried to
A.
assign to every single person on the podcast?
I did.
With
all
no
all
success?
the Blade movies, even the trilogy. No, I think that one's not an A really, but no, those. What are some other? Well, the Wire series. So that we do series and movies. So the series The Wire, solid A. Don't know if you've seen that. That's a.
I haven't, but I know one of my favorite authors is a writer for it, Dennis Lehane. He
Yeah.
wrote
Oh,
an
yeah.
entire season, I think. So I need to buckle down and watch it.
Yeah.
It looks great.
It stands up. It's old now. I'm watching it for the second time, but I assigned it to Bob, and he gave it a good grade, and so I started watching it, and now I'm in season 4.
Nice.
You know, the funny thing is, I'm looking back through. So we've done this long enough where I'm like, I'm just going to write down what the assignments are, because otherwise, if it's a couple weeks before we get back to it, I'm gonna forget. I'm like, Corey, what did you have to watch, and who assigned it to you? He's be like, it was something, I don't know, something banker, I don't know by who. So I started writing it down, and I'm looking back through what Todd has been assigned, going all the way back to December of 2020, and there's a lot of really good stuff here, but I feel like they all got C's from Todd. Like there was nothing in here that warranted an A.
You know what? No, I feel like there was one thing that I gave him.
Yeah, Corey gave
thing?
me something that I like.
I gave him one. There was one thing, and I cannot remember. I should have noted it down because it was a day in history.
It was a bright
Yeah.
day.
Yeah,
I should have been putting an asterisk next to these, the one or two that got an A.
I know. I at least got one.
But there's stuff in here like Beastie Boys story, Last King of Scotland,
Those are B minus.
The Big Short,
Oh, The Big Short's
I like
great.
The Big
Green
Short.
Book. These are
I've
like
been Green
The
Book.
Great Escape. These are like really like well-known movies, and he's always like this C plus.
Yeah, C plus.
It's like my uncle. He's a Ohio State fan, and I was hanging out with him one time. I don't know why we were hanging out, but we were watching the national title game, and it was when Ohio State beat Oregon or something. This was a while ago, and Ezekiel Elliott ran for a touchdown, and Ohio State won like 35-17, and my uncle's like, should have scored 42. And I'm like, and I'm a Tennessee. I hate Ohio State, but I'm like. I'm just like, dude, my team's Tennessee. We haven't won, 10 games in 15 years at this point.
This could be the year. The Vols are good.
I know.
Only the Georgia loss.
But it was just funny though, because my uncle was just so critical, and they just won the national championship.
Well, no offense, but he likes Ohio State, so he might have been drinking.
He was sober.
It's really unfair to like let's have a Michigan-based podcast talk about how Ohio State's doing.
I love seeing them lose to Oregon last week.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Every time. Oh, you guys are welcome anytime on the show. I love it.
Yeah, we don't like Ohio State.
Yes. All right, Todd, I'm gonna
Nice.
do something that I should have done from the beginning because Todd
Yes.
actually added his questions to my list of questions, and so I'm just gonna read off of Todd's questions now, and I'm gonna try to do it in the voice of Todd.
Oh,
You'll actually, and I got
Well,
some of them
let's-
done already, so make sure you don't repeat.
and let's be careful with the the Todd impersonations. All right, buddy.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Let's see how this goes.
This is gonna go. Why would you pick today to do this?
I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do anything like that. So Todd would love to know if you have any strange diva-like requests in your tour riders. I'm not sure how many of your tour stops allow riders or will accommodate stuff like brown M&Ms.
I don't think we've ever gotten a rider before.
I don't think we have.
Usually, I just want money, but
Money, please.
money, please. Yeah. No, we.
If we
I did the
had a
voice of-
rider, huh?
I was going to say, I did the voice of the Grinch at a children's Christmas festival, and I requested blue M&Ms.
Nice.
So you guys got to get riders, man. I can help you with this.
Know that. What were you gonna say?
Gummy bears.
Yeah.
Gummy bears would be on there. I don't care what color, but they do have to be the Haribo or whatever.
Haribo,
the
yep.
bears.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You gotta be able
The
to
true
say it.
gummy
Listen,
bears.
I don't know how to say it. I just got to eat them.
Yeah, we did have one time we played a Halloween festival, which is kind of spoopy, and it's a pretty cool festival. And they had a green room, and it had all kinds of food. It had every kind of alcohol you could want. And me and Felicia beelined for the gummy bears.
Nice.
Everybody's like all excited.
What's
about
that
making
whiskey?
drinks.
Out of the way. I need to get over to the
Yeah.
gummy bear section.
And then
That
our
is a
friend- our
giant
friend was
cat.
like- our friend,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is Money Penny.
That's
Money penny.
I was going to interrupt real quick because I'm like, I saw you pick up that cat. I'm like, holy shit, that is a huge cat.
She's very cute.
She's sassy.
She's adorable.
Was Money Penny in the Bond films
Money
that
penny.
big?
Money penny.
Probably not. She's a little bigger.
Just let herself go.
Going back to my list of questions, just to shake it up. Do you have a favorite? So when you're on tour, I gotta assume that. So just like our friend Corey loves a good gas station snack. Loves it. Do you have a favorite like fast food or gas station snack while you're on tour, going from place to place?
I mean, yours is definitely gummy bears.
My gas station snack is gummy bears. I've been addicted for like the last 3 years. It was Snickers for a while, but I have moved on.
I really like the light blue Gatorade. I guess I don't ever buy that unless we're on the road and I go to a gas station and I want something to drink that's not a soda.
Okay.
So, and then I like.
You love like sour.
Yeah, I love
or
sour.
Sour Patch Kids or.
Yeah, I like Sour Patch Kids, and I also like I like any kind of chips really, but Doritos are a go-to for sure.
What about fast food?
I mean, Popeyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get the spicy chicken sandwich.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Their fast food is just. I mean, honestly, I think Popeyes is so much better.
That spicy fried chicken sandwich is solid. That's an A. That's an A for you, Bob.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah, anything from Popeyes is great.
Yeah.
All right, but never like a wasp dog, like a hot dog that's been just like spinning for hours and hours in the gas station right by the cashier.
I haven't.
Oh, you have a gross one of those.
Yeah, we were on the way. We were in Kentucky and we were playing in Indiana, and I never buy those, but I did this one, and I got two. I got two, and I didn't know that the second one. I was starving, and I didn't know that the second one had like cheese in it. And I bit it, and it went all over the window.
Like, all over the car. It was gross.
So,
the charged wasp dog. Yeah.
So Felicia outlawed those forever.
Hot dog juice.
I think
all
her
over
and
the
James
car.
were both screaming. Like it was like I got shot or something.
That is awesome.
Let's see. What else, Todd, from your list of questions? Does living the rock dream ever feel to you like work?
Yes.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
The show...
When we're on the road and playing, no, almost never. It's just fun. Like, we get to do what we love and play music and go on road trips. Like, it's a great time. But the lead up to that, the emails and the booking and all of that we do.
Yeah, social media. Just
podcasts.
No, we like podcasts.
Yeah, this is the worst job I've ever had.
Solid C-.
Come on, Todd. Come on.
No, this is fun, but yeah, we send emails all day and do video and audio editing. I love editing. I love mixing. Yeah. I love all the stuff in the studio. But yeah, sometimes just like all the day-to-day upkeep and then just communication with venues, stuff like that sometimes can be very draining.
You should hire somebody for that.
Well,
if anybody's looking for a band.
Hey, you can sign me. I also play tambourine on the side. I've been known to play on a couple live albums. These other two guys aren't band guys, but I have a little bit of biz experience. So if you need anybody to play the tambourine, and send an email or two and get some.
I wasn't sure
and
how
bears,
he was going to work that into the episode tonight.
I got you covered.
He found a way.
He was on stage. He was on stage once with a band of his friends
for their live album, Corey.
That felt bad. Album. That felt bad and let Todd on stage. So don't listen to everything that was just said there.
Oh man.
We keep everything very DIY, and that's how we're able to do.
Yeah, I actually screen printed that shirt you're wearing myself. So
that's awesome.
Yes, it is.
That's
A+.
awesome.
A+, Todd. So who's driving the van?
Me.
Okay, so does that mean are you DJing as well?
Josh is usually the DJ. I'm pretty focused, one track mind.
Yeah.
So she does complain when it's the wrong songs.
Yep.
Hey, you can't upset the driver.
Exactly.
No,
that's the last person you want to upset.
Last night we were listening to a bunch of horror podcasts, so that was fun.
Good call.
Driving down the road, middle of the night,
Yeah.
backwoods
Pretty
country road,
Yeah.
horror podcast.
Yeah. It's the best.
I was
Just
gonna
praying
say,
for no flat tires. And
I-
banjo.
I-
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I like the idea.
So you're spinning tunes, and she's got ultimate veto control. Like, she'll let it go for as long as she needs it to, but at some point she's gonna be like, nope, not that one.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I'll get the. Is that on shuffle or did you start that album?
And is James just sitting in the back going like, that's cool, whatever you want, man?
James is sleeping.
He usually sleeps like within 5 minutes of us hitting the interstate, he's out. And so we pretty much have control over
Like, last night,
the entertainment.
Last night he was awake longer than normal. He was awake for about 45 minutes of the 2-hour drive,
Right.
and he was like, "Let's listen to my new horror podcast," and he put it on,
And then
fell asleep
Immediately asleep.
Behind his phone. So,
He meant to say, I really want to go to sleep to a horror podcast. How about,
I
sound
don't know
good?
how he fell asleep. It had all kinds of sound effects.
It sounds like my wife, Danielle. She'll be like, oh, yeah, let's watch this show. And I'm like, all right. And then 15 minutes into it, she's passed out.
And then when you go to turn the channel, is she like, no, I was watching
She's
that.
like, no, she's like, I could still hear it. I'm like, no, you couldn't. You were snoring.
This is married life, Corey.
I
Married
know.
life.
Well, real quick, we got another shot here sitting in front of us.
Oh, we do. Jesus.
Todd?
How long has this been sitting here?
Hang on.
Come on, Todd.
All right.
Jesus.
It's good. I'm coming up.
C plus on the speed for pouring shots.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Thank you,
guys.
Thank you both for coming.
Cilantro.
Cheers.
That's the good stuff. Yeah.
Woo. All right. It has been a real pleasure to have you guys on. We would love to have you back, and especially if you end up coming up to Detroit or moving your tour out to Seattle, where Todd doesn't
Yeah,
have to take a
boy.
helicopter to come see you.
We are definitely down to come back. This has been so fun. This is what we do in the car on the road. So
Perfect.
we talk
That's-
about movies and what whiskey we want to drink. So.
Yeah.
That we couldn't have asked for anything better than that. That's exactly
Awesome.
what we were hoping for. All right, so we will let you go. We don't want to wait. We don't want to spend any more of your time, but we really appreciate you. Everybody, please go out to Spotify for Band of October, for Year of October. Please go to Bandcamp for their merch and their new album, Live from Everywhere, Volume 1, which is available now. And Josh and Felicia, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Us. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right, that is the podcast, everybody. We'll see you next week. Love you. Peace out.